hello, hello. My name is Joe.
And I'm Jordan.
And this is Double Trouble Feature.
Hoochie!
That had some like anime inspiration to it.
Yeah, actually, Loki.
You said Hooji.
Yeah, Loki.
Yeah, it was very.
So we're planning our trip to Japan, and I've been doing my Duolingo every day.
So what does that mean? Anything?
That means I know how to say water.
Is that really water?
No, that's not water. No.
I was like, wait, are you actually cultured? Is this actually cool? Like, I was like, oh my God, you just taught me a Japanese word. No,
bro, like half the time it feels like cultural appropriation. Like if I speak a different language.
I mean, yeah.
But you know what? Who cares? But anyway, speaking of people who culturally appropriate, this is Double Trouble Features. Catch us on YouTube.
I try really hard to make him not.
Catch us on YouTube, anywhere you get your podcast. Please subscribe. Let's get those subscriber numbers up. Joe, what are we doing today, man?
Well, we're going to be talking about some TV shows. We've been in our documentary era.
Yes.
I've been watching a documentary. You've been watching a documentary. Very different documentaries.
Very different.
But lots for you to entertain on. And then also some movies. I mean, I watched The Deliverance on Netflix, which...
See, we're both in our Netflix era also. I watched Incoming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. We're both just syncing up.
I know.
God, just on our Netflix periods together.
Exactly.
That's why it's red.
I do have tampons if you need it.
No, I like to let it flow.
Pad user. But also, this is going to be our second trimester. Speaking of the women references.
Trimester, Jesus.
Second trimester. We're going to talk about the best movies and at least our favorite movies and shows that we've watched so far of 2024. So let's dive right in. So Joe, again, we're both in our Netflix era.
Do you know what else I'm in?
What?
Coming.
I'm so done
that
with
took
this,
you
dude.
so long too.
It took me a second, and I was
you
just
were
like, bro. I was like,
what does that even? How does that even make sense?
Okay. Yes. He's into. I'm so done. The movie I watched this week is called Incoming.
Yes.
For the joke. And it's actually a good movie. I give it a solid 7.
I'm curious because a lot of people have been likening it to like Project X, Superbad,
not at all,
like that kind of shit.
Closer to Superbad than Project X.
Okay.
Again, it's just a coming of age movie, and to be honest, that's actually one of my favorite genres. Like I love a coming of age movie. That's comedy. Like depressing coming of age movies are very depressing. Yeah,
I already lived that shit. I don't need to see it. I want to see what happy childhoods look like.
Exactly. But this movie it's actually very funny. It does have the essence of Superbad, which I really enjoy. So you have these 4 main characters, right? These 4 boys that are all grown up, or that are going into high school for the first time.
Okay, freshmen.
Yeah, they're all freshmen. The main guy, his sister is a sophomore. She has a sophomore hot best friend. The best friend and him over the summer kind of had a little connection. And by connection, I mean
this is his best friend's sister.
This is his sister's
best friend.
Yes.
Okay.
His sister's best friend. And so him and the girl Bailey, that's her name.
Okay.
They look at each other, and it's at night. His sister's asleep, and all of a sudden he's like spills everything, and like she tried to help him up and stuff, and they kind of talk, and then like he's like, I'm in love. He's like, this is the woman for me.
Oh my God.
And she's like, you're a freshman. I can't be seen or talk to a freshman.
That's right. Know your worth, ladies.
That's true. To be honest, I think that's true. Freshmen, don't talk to seniors. Don't talk to juniors. If you got game, you could talk to a sophomore, though.
This only goes for boys to girls.
Yeah, I dated a sophomore my freshman year.
Girls to boys.
I feel like girls can't date lower.
No. Girls never date lower. Girls always date up. Like
Yes.
freshmen and sophomores are always dating a junior, senior.
Yes.
And it's like reversed for the boys, obviously.
And in reverse for the boys date up because those girls that date down have lower self-esteems.
Well,
You're like,
if she's willing to settle for me, she's willing to settle for a lot.
exactly.
God.
Like if I look back, I'm just like, I literally am like, why does she date me? Why? Why?
Sometimes I ask that about your wife.
You know what?
I actually probably did ask her that question at one point.
You know what? Anyway, fuck you. So you have the main guy. He's like your typical, I'm falling in love. What do I do? Then you have your two guys. Eddie, he's the black guy. He's the awkward dude. Like, I do everything by the book. I am like good, straight A, black kid.
Yeah.
Yes. Shirt tucked in, everything like that. Rule follower. And he's with his friend Connor, who is short and gets nobody. Like when he gets to high school, he's called Fetus. And he's like, fuck, that's my name for the rest of the time. God dang it. Like, so that's his name. Those two, great tandem.
Great what?
Great tandem.
Tandem?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Love them together.
Okay.
They're super funny. Then you have the douche of the group. I feel like that's there's
always a stifler.
There's always a stifler. Now this guy, racial ambiguous. Don't know what race he is, to be honest, the entire time. But he has a lot of money, and he has an older brother, and his older brother is the popular one. He's a senior, and he's the freshman. And so, basically what happens is, older brother of the stifler throws a party. He's throwing a welcome back party.
Because it's the Stifler family, of
Exactly.
course. We really following a formula.
Yeah, exactly. You're following formula. And our main character, is it Ben? What's his main character's name? I don't even care. Ben. No, actually, worst part of the movie, his name is Bidge. Like, his name is Benjamin, but he goes by Bidge. Like Benj.
Okay, Netflix, I need you to put the AI down. Chat GPT.
Nobody's going by Binge, bro.
Chat GPT, Gemini, whatever you got, open up.
Yes, Copilot.
Put it down. Hire some writers.
Yeah, shout out Microsoft.
Because if there is somebody going by Benj, hey babe, maybe think about that a little harder.
So, Koosh is the douchebag name.
His name is Koosh.
Koosh.
Like,
that's his last name. His last name is Koosh.
Like Koosh Ball.
Yeah, like almost Kooshko, but like Koosh. Yes. These names are terrible. Yes. So basically, Koosh at the party, he starts the party. His older brother's like, hey, you can't invite all these fucking dweeb freshmen. So you only get one person to bring, like, one extra. And he's like, sorry to, like, the black guy and the short kid. So Koosh gets the main character Binge. And then basically it's like hey, it's a party and I am trying to get the girl of my dreams. And wild shit happens, fun things. It's your standard raunchy, coming of age movie, like a Superbad.
I'm not gonna lie though, it is kind of hard because they do look like 15.
No, these characters,
Yeah,
definitely look like they're in high school.
yeah. I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, this isn't like Emma Stone being 25
Yes.
and playing a high schooler.
Yes.
Like, even Jonah Hill looked 40.
He always looks 40.
He did.
There's one person, Bobby. Oh my god, I forgot his name. But he plays the teacher.
Bobby Moynihan?
No, Bobby Calvale. He plays a teacher who goes to the party.
Okay.
And then, exactly.
What? They did that in Booksmart, and I'm sorry. Look, I don't know how to say that. There were a lot of teachers who went
Yeah,
to parties.
exactly.
There were a lot of teachers who went to parties when I was in high school, but they went to jail. And have we not learned anything since?
Spoiler alert: he gets fired at the end of the movie.
Oh, so there
Yeah.
at least there are repercussions. Okay.
See, yeah, my thing is like maybe back in probably like a couple classes before us when we graduated, but definitely pre 2009. Yeah, teachers definitely could go to parties,
and there was no.
We're not saying they should.
And the internet.
We're not saying they should.
I think that like Facebook and Instagram and all that has kind of ruined that for a good.
I wouldn't say ruined.
Like, I
prevented creepy teachers from going to kid parties.
But like a lot of female teachers were going to kid parties.
Yeah, no.
Because they were like bored and 23 and this like 17-year-old boy was showing them attention, and it got gross real fast. But like,
and small town life.
That was more the issue in my high school, was like women teachers and boy students.
Yeah, no. For us, it was definitely boy teachers and girls.
Students, yeah.
Yeah, but
Girl
I would
students.
say, at least from my knowledge, they always waited until they were 18 and graduated.
See, that wasn't really happening at Smith. Though.
Yeah.
They were just like doing it in the parking lot after hours.
Yeah, we're good on that. But I would say this movie is very funny. It's great. But definitely give it a good watch. It's a great laugh. It's what you think is going to happen is going to happen. It does follow that formula, but the jokes do hit. The jokes do land. But there's definitely funny people, funny aspects of it that kind of, just an homage to, I would say, Superbad.
Yeah. See, that was my biggest fear, is that like it would be, because Netflix has this really bad tendency of like updating a movie. I'm thinking of like He's All That. They did She's All That, and they like updated it, and it was just god fucking awful. So I was very nervous, because it really depends on the writing. Because
no. I think those kind of movies, like these kind of movies where it's just like you're taking like the same tropes and kind of just updating just a little bit. I think it all depends on how the writing is.
Yeah.
Because that makes or breaks films. And like, especially these kind of films, because you could say these jokes, but if they're just not funny, it's just
well. And if you just like
I'm bored.
if you just like copy and paste it and then switch out Snapchat for, I don't even know, TikTok,
yeah.
Like, it's not funny, and there needs to be actual thought written in. Netflix has a bad habit of just like taking an old formula and updating the references and thinking it's fine. So I am glad to hear that, though.
Yeah, no, I definitely say, hey, give it a shot. Just if I'm bored watching, I think you'll enjoy it. If you got nothing else to watch. But no, I actually think it's a good movie. Like, I would watch it again. I'll definitely watch it again. Yeah. So, Joe, I just want to let you know that I love you, and I think you need to be reborn in the name of Jesus here on this table, and I need to deliver you from Satan.
Honey, I did that a while ago. I'm good.
I'm good. Well, what movie did you watch?
I was raised Lutheran, and we believe in infant baptism. Let's go there. No, I watched The Deliverance.
Ooh, okay.
Starring Glenn Close, Andra Day, and Monique.
Monique's in this
Monique
movie?
is in this shit, and
Oh.
it was so good. So, okay.
What'd you give it?
How do I put this? I don't know, because half this shit I couldn't tell if it was offensive or not, or actual good storytelling. And I'll say this in this way. So I liked the movie. I'd give it a good like 5 or 6. It didn't blow anything out of the water. It wasn't doing all that, but it was fun in the sense that Glenn Close is a lovely woman, and she's getting up there in age. In this movie, she plays a woman who her only goal in life is to fuck black guys. That's all she wants. Like, I think it's called a snow bunny. Is that right? I'm asking for real.
Are you actually asking?
I'm asking for real. Am I like that? That's the correct term, correct?
She's nobody, yeah.
Yeah. So
Nobody refers to white women. That's nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's her. Glenn Close is a white woman. Do you not know who Glenn Close is?
No, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So her character in this movie is a snow bunny. So yes. Like full on. So
I wouldn't say Snowbody directly references a white woman that wants a black guy.
Okay.
Snowbody is just a general term for white women, just in general.
That would it would still pertain to her in this movie.
Yeah, she got jungle fever though.
I don't think I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah, that's what we would say. She got jungle fever.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. That's what we're going with. But in this movie, so she moves in with her daughter to help her daughter take care of these kids. Dad's out of the picture, and her daughter is black, and the kids are black. Her grandkids are black.
Yeah.
And so this is like a constant through line throughout the movie where things get a little dicey. But I will say how we start this off is basically there's been issues in the house. There's been stuff going on. Mom like drinks every now and then, but she's trying her best. She's holding down a job. She's doing all this shit. Grandma, Glenn Close, has cancer. And there's this one scene where she is fully getting chemo and hitting on the male nurse who's just a...
Who wouldn't?
He's just the older black gentleman. And she's literally got her tits out. And I was just like... Damn, Grandma.
If I'm gonna die, I might as well die.
But we don't know we're getting No, she doesn't know she's dying yet. This isn't like the start and like the beginning. Like they're just telling the family story, and the family story is she is a white woman who has a black daughter and black grandkids and likes to fuck black men. That's like the majority.
So like
that's the majority of her story.
I know these people are fully black, but like, are they biological daughter? Like
she is, yeah. And that is made point in the movie. Like, cause somebody asked, they're like, is that your real kid? And she goes, do you mean, did she come out of my vagina? Yeah, she did.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Continue.
So, lots of family drama happening, right? Lots of things going on. The kids are coming to school with bruises. Mom doesn't really know what's going on. And it slowly starts progressing. And then all of a sudden, there's this time where like the kid starts going down to the basement. Weird shit starts happening. And I don't know how to explain it. Because like
Because this is a scary movie,
it's
right?
a scary movie, but it doesn't really get scary until like the end. Before that, it's like a big Tyler Perry movie, and I like literally Glenn Close sewing in her daughter's weave. Like,
wait, when I tell you the clip that Netflix shows you, you know, if you don't click on, if you just hover over the title, I just hovered over it and I saw the clip and I was just like, this is like supposed to be funny. Like this scene is supposed to be funny. And I was just like, is this a scary movie? Why are we showing like a...
What was the scene?
They're at the table. I don't even know. Like family dinner.
I can't even...
And she's like, I didn't teach you to cook like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No, and it was... Yeah, exactly. The most of the movie was that. It was like a white mom with her black daughter trying to raise these black kids. Like it was that was the majority of it, and that was kind of the central tension because kids start showing up to school with bruises. Kids start acting out in class because they're possessed, but we don't know that at the beginning. And it's really kind of timid in the beginning, and it slowly progresses until the demon takes her, like, Glenn Close's visage, like, looks like her and says some of the most horrific things. I will not say them on here. You can go look on TikTok and see Glenn Close the Deliverance, and I guarantee you that scene will pop up.
You know what we should have done before this? You should have just typed it out and then I would have said it.
You can put it in like captions right here.
Yes.
Like just the big bold letters. That's exactly what we need right here. But it was interesting, and what kind of like threw it off for me is like they go through all this shit. It finally gets scary. Monique gets involved, and Monique is the Child Protective Services like person.
Ooh, I bet she's played that role.
She played a fucking hard ass. Oh,
Yeah.
also, this movie is done by Lee Daniels.
Is it really?
Yes, this movie was like written and produced or directed something by Lee Daniels, who is the like creator of Precious and other various amazing movies. But he like. That's what he's like most probably known for is Precious and Monique as well.
Precious again.
I heard.
But what am I?
I'm not gonna lie. It came out when I was a kid, and my parents were like, "This is too heavy for you."
Oh,
and,
no, it's so heavy.
And it just never came up. Apparently, a lot of kids just watch Precious and like.
No, me and my mom went to the movie theaters to go see Precious, and what I tell you, I've never felt like so.
I heard I don't remember. I heard they did not market that movie well in the fact that it felt like an uplifting coming of age story of like a black woman who's going through some hard shit.
No, it marketed as like, this is a sad ass movie. Like but
nobody was prepared.
What I tell you, first of all, Monique, she won an Oscar for that. Deserved every bit of it. And it was, I knew it was supposed to be a sad movie. Like both me and my mom knew it was supposed to be, but like kind of like a Pursuit of Happiness. That's what we are thinking.
Oh,
that like down in the dumps, but goes through shit, perseveres. And it's happy at the. No, it's mostly sad the whole movie. And at one point, like I was just like, because also being black, like I know people like that, so it's even harder. Shout out Precious, great, fantastic movie. I would say my personal drama top 5. My personal drama top 5.
We look, Gabrielle Sidibe needs more roles. We need everything for her. Monique,
what is she
great.
in lately?
She was in American Horror Story for a really long time.
She was, yes.
And she's done like some things here or there, but she needs more. That's what I'm saying. Is she just needs more.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the Deliverance. Basically, Monique gets involved. There's all this shit. And there's one part where like the boy, like, this is where it like actually gets scary is when they take the kids away.
Is it one of the boys from
he's from Stranger Things. Yes.
Is it Caleb?
Caleb, yeah. I'm blanking on his last name. But yes, you are correct. He's one of the boys. Honestly, minor role. Like these kids could honestly be fodder for this movie. They're just they're literally just kind of there. They kind of sort of get into stuff, but this movie is really about Andra Day, who is Ebony Jackson, and her mother, Alberta Jackson, and going through like their shit. It's really about them for a really long time. And then stuff happens, and then it's all about the demons, and like Ebony's trying to get her kids back and she doesn't know how, but there's like this whole thing going on. And then there's this like kind of like sort of exorcist, but she calls herself an apostle and she's like a black exorcist and doesn't do Catholics. Like it's like that kind of shit. But what's interesting about this movie is honestly the movie, like I said, 5, 6, take it or leave it. It's kind of creepy in parts. You should watch it just to see Glenn Close say the most like one of the most vile things you can say to a black woman, like one of the most, but like,
woo, say it, Joe.
No, I shan't. Again, it'll be here in big bold letters. But this movie is based on a true story.
Oh, is it really?
And what's like fucked up about it is it's about the Ammon family, and like this shit really did happen, and a lot of people thought this woman was abusing her kids because there was like a demon in the house. Who's to say that way or the other? I will say there was supposedly so much demonic activity that Zach Bagans of Ghost Hunters, he's like big in the ghost hunting community.
Oh, he came?
He came, bought the fucking house. Zach Bagans bought that house and then eventually demolished it, but the basement, yes. But the basement...
This is where you're tricking me.
He picked up the basement, moved it to his museum in Vegas, where all this shit happened. There was like a lot of like all the basement was like a big like plot point in the movie, like all that stuff. picks it up, takes it to his thing in Vegas. I have been to that museum and saw the stairwell where this movie took place.
Bro, you probably got some demons with.
Oh, that wasn't even like that. In this museum, there was like Charles Manson shit everywhere.
No, I know
You're
around demon shit.
No, they're around me, and that's why I'm gay.
And that's. Oh my god!
But anyways, it was an okay movie. It just honestly had a lot more interesting backstory than anything. And Glenn Close and Andre Day did do a great performance, and Monique, great performances. I just don't really like the whole. Like I said, the first half felt like a sad Tyler Perry movie, and the second half felt like a horror movie. It was a little disjointed.
Needs to pick a lane.
Exactly, it needed to pick a lane. It didn't get creepy in the beginning, and that's the thing. Like it just felt like Glenn Close and Andre Day were just like having their like white mom, black daughter battle. The first half of the movie. That's what it was. So like I said,
I'm not gonna lie. Joe thought that he was like snow buddies mean they like black.
I don't know. I've heard.
You're
black,
snow buddy.
I've heard.
Oh my god!
You don't have to call me out like that. God. All right.
So we're both in our documentaries.
Yes.
We both wanted to talk about documentaries this coming episode, and you really don't care for murder of like who did it, but we all know it's probably the husband killed.
See, and that's a thing. If I put time and effort into a documentary, and the person who ends up being guilty is the first person we talked about in the documentary, but I just watched 8 episodes of you going, and then we looked into them, but it wasn't them, and then we looked into them, but it wasn't them, and then we looked into the same person that we always thought it was, and it turned out to be them, you're gonna piss me off, and I'm gonna write a bad Letterboxd review.
Now, see, that I understand, but if it's we know it's this person, but then we can't prove it's this person, that's the shit I enjoy. That's
different.
This is the documentary I watch is called The Jinx. Now, The Jinx came out, the first is 2 seasons. This first season came out this summer, or the second season came out this summer. The first season came out in 2015. I'm going to have to tell you basically everything that happens in the first season.
Okay.
For it to make sense.
Okay.
So there's this guy. His name is Robert Durst. Okay, he is part of like one of the richest
the
Durst family.
The Durst family.
Yes,
I'm familiar with the Durst family.
Yes.
Is that what this is about?
This is about.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so back in the 80s, again he's rich, filthy rich.
Yes.
Back in the 80s, his wife goes missing, and they never find his wife or anything like that. Somebody called she was in nursing school. Somebody called the dean and said, "Hey, I'm not going to be home." And the whole time they're like, "Who called? Who did this?" And some people think it's Robert Durst. Some people don't know. We don't know who killed his wife.
Time out.
Yeah.
This is the Durst family. Rich, wealthy.
The rich.
And she was going to school to work? I'm
Yes.
sorry.
You know what? Good point.
I'm sorry.
Good point.
If you're the Durst family and I'm going to school, baby, I'm dropping out. I will become if you're rich, I'll become a trad wife so fucking fast.
So here's the difference. So his wife came from like a normal family. Mm-hmm. And the Durst family did not fuck with that family at all. So
as well they shouldn't.
So basically when she went missing, they didn't do anything. They didn't try to find her, do anything.
Yes, because this lowly nurse person is missing.
Yes.
That's somebody else's problem, not the Durst problem.
So they try to look into Bob, Robert Durst, but Bob. He's the oldest son of the Durst family. And so they try to look into him. They can't really pin anything or find anything. His alibi is kind of okay. So they say, fuck it. 20 years later.
So they just say, fuck it.
So it's 2000. What's her name? She's on Fox News. She's the judge.
Judge Janine Shapiro?
Yes.
I love Judge Janine because she's fucking crazy.
She's the New York, she's a New York prosecutor.
I heard she used to be like not crazy.
Yeah, no, 100%. In this documentary, made me kind of respect her more. So she, again, is trying to move up in the ranks because that's how she becomes a judge. Then she becomes a Fox News personality and stuff like that. So
the natural progression.
Yes. So she's now like she opens up the case again. And then they start to find information. They start to kind of piece some things a little bit. Oh, he kind of lied about this. He lied about this. And so all of a sudden, Bob Durst says, fuck it. I'm going to leave. So he lives in New York. He travels down to Texas, Galveston, Texas. To cover up his ID, he changes his name and everything like that, and then he becomes a woman. Dresses up and he becomes a mute woman. Doesn't talk, doesn't do anything. Wears has hair and everything like that.
So he just starts cross-dressing and stops speaking.
Yes.
You know what, straight men, you should all do this. I think the world would be a better place if you all put on a dress and shut the fuck up.
So he does that. He pays for his rent and stuff like that. He shares a hallway with a neighbor. Him and this neighbor start to hang out a little bit, and then he's like, you know what? I'm actually a guy. So they kind of talk.
He doesn't do it like that. He doesn't like lift up his dress, right?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
Doesn't.
Well, you made that movement. You were like, I'm a guy, and I'm like, that would be crazy.
So crazy thing. So this is how the first season starts. The first season.
The first season. Oh,
this is
what was all that?
Backstory. Okay. Then the season starts with guy is fishing, and all of a sudden, dead body parts start to come to. He finds some dead body parts.
Where was this? Is this in Texas?
Galveston, Texas. So all of a sudden, you see all these chopped limbs and everything like that. They find news in the a letter that's in one of the bags, and they get it to this woman who lives in this apartment, who turns out to be Bob Durst. And then Bob Durst goes on the run. And guess what? This man has $37,000 of cash. Guess how he gets caught? He tries to steal a fucking sandwich from a gas station. That was $6.
I'm not kidding when I say when it comes to like criminals, it's always the dumbest shit that gets you caught.
Dumbest shit.
It's you maybe don't jerk off all over the crime scene.
Yes.
Maybe put on gloves. Maybe don't be texting your girlfriend while you're actively murdering someone because there is metadata now. Not in the 90s, not when this was happening. But
so that happens, he goes to he gets booked, gets out, right?
Idiot.
Before this,
wait, he just gets out. They don't know it's him.
No, they literally can't prove that he did this. So he posts bail.
Oh, okay.
During this, his best friend's named Lauren. She lives in California. He flies to California. Then comes back, and then guess what? Lauren's dead.
Crazy.
His best friend. Best friend's dead. All of a sudden, we don't know anything. We just know that she got shot in the back of the head, and she's dead. Nobody at all knows how she died. But the killer left a letter that just said her address and cadaver, which means body.
Yeah.
And that's it. And the cops are like, we can't know. We don't know who did it. So
I've been watching too much CSI, and I'm like, well, you need to look at the chemical compounds of the pen and who wrote it. You need to look at we need to send that through handwriting analysis.
Yes.
Like in my head, I already have this case solved.
So
but this was like
I
earlier.
want you to keep that in mind because that's the focal point of season 2
of how much they fucked up this investigation.
So in season 1, basically they can't pin him on his wife's missing. So what they're doing is they're going to pin him on how he killed his sweet mate almost in Galveston, Texas. Here's the thing though. There's no evidence at all that he did it. And basically this is what Bob Durst says. He says him and his sweet mate kind of became friends, and then all of a sudden he started going on Unhinged, and one day he just showed up in his house with a gun, and then they started wrestling, and boom, shot him. The gun went off, and he died. And then he admits to dismembering the body. He admits to that. But the jury finds him not guilty. Because
it was self-defense.
Because there's no proof that, because they're trying to go for murder. Murder for first degree.
Yeah.
You can't, there's no evidence, there's no people talking, there's nothing. It's just he said, she said, and they had nothing to go. When it all points to he did it, and he dismembered a person.
Which is crazy because at the very least, that's evidence tampering.
So, facts. But no, but in the state of Texas, you can defend yourself, and it doesn't matter what you do with the body after. So he gets away scot-free, right?
What?
Yes.
Texas. What is going on?
So he gets away scot-free, right? Then 15 years or 13 years later, he doesn't do interviews, done nothing. Everybody thinks he's the killer. They're like, how did he get away with his murder? Everything like that. He does an interview for the Jinx. And he does this. He wants to clear his name. He wants to say, because they did a movie with Kirsten Dunst. Did a movie of like how because she was the wife. How the missing wife. I forgot what the movie's called.
I'm blanking on it,
but Robert Durst saw the director and was like, "Hey, I want you to interview me because you gave me like a real perspective, like that I'm a real person instead of just like judging me as a murderer." So then he's like, "All right, cool. I'll interview." So he interviews him, everything like that. They start talking, everything like that. He gives his story, blah 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 blah. As Andrew Jarecki, I think that's his name. He interviews all these other people. He interviews the chick that died in L.A. He interviews one of her friends, and his friend has like all her stuff because she's dead, and he finds a letter, and the letter is exactly the same handwriting as the one that was sent to the police office.
I told you I already solved this 20 years ago.
But then they also spelled Beverly Hills wrong. Instead of L-Y, it's L-E-Y for Beverly. Beverly. So, in the season finale of the first season, he's like, "Hey, which one of these did you write?" He was like, "Oh, I don't even know." And it basically confirms that he did it. And then he goes into the bathroom with a hot mic. He was like, "You killed the ball. You did it." So he admits it.
Guys.
Now, Joe.
I need everyone to learn what a fucking hot mic is.
Joe, now this is not even the crazy part.
See, this is good. I'm having fun with this.
They do the interview in 2013. The Jinx premieres February of 2015. This is where season 2 starts. This motherfucker says that hot mic shit. He knows that happened. And this motherfucker stays in fucking America.
Finishes the interview? Or
no.
Just like he's just chilling.
He's chilling for like a year and a half. And then all of a sudden, Andrew Jarecki, the producer and the director of The Jinx, sends his shit to the fucking FBI. And so the FBI and everybody starts to build a case against Bob Durst. Bob is sitting at home when the premiere of The Jinx starts. So then it's episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. We're watching an interview where you know that they caught you and you said, "Oh, they caught me." And he's just staying here in fucking Texas chilling.
I mean, he's kind of old now. Like, what are you going to do now? Send me to prison?
You're worth millions of dollars. You think you're not saying, "Fuck it, I'm going to go to fucking Europe," or "Fuck it, I'm going to go to like South," anywhere in the world.
Spend 2 years in a good federal penitentiary, hang out with some fucking idiots, and then go home.
So all of a sudden, it's
and obviously he thinks he's gotten away with it.
So it's the 5th episode. It's only 6 episodes. 5th episodes. Yeah.
Has he been tried for any of these? He was tried for those.
He was tried for the murder in Texas of the sweet bait.
Okay.
And he got away with it. So he's not going to get tried for that again.
Well, and that's what I'm getting at is double jeopardy. Because if he was
But he hasn't got tried for Kathy, his wife's disappearance. Hasn't got tried for the girl in L.A. So the 5th episode happens where you see the handwriting letters. After that, he's like, fuck. This looks bad. So you know what this dude does? Goes on a lamb. He drives to fucking New Orleans. FBI is trying to fucking find this dude. They track his shit. They find him in New Orleans. The season finale premieres. Everybody sees it. They know he did it. And then killed the girl in LA. And then this is where season 2 picks up. The trial of like, how do we get Bob Nurse and everything like this. And when I tell you this trial is fucking unhinged and all the shit that happens, it's fucking wild.
I firmly believe that policemen from the 60s, 50s, 60s, up until like maybe 2 years ago, they didn't know how to investigate shit.
No.
It's crazy. Like, I know that we like make fun of all of the like, you know, crime pods and all that stuff, but I feel like they're doing better work than half these fucking detectives.
No, when I tell you, so that's what, again, it's not about his wife was missing, he killed this. It's like how did he get away with it the first time? And then the second time he's in jail, and like the whole time he's in jail, it's all about the trial, it's all about the money. And it's a documentary, so it's not really a spoiler. He gets found guilty.
Yeah.
Here's the crazy shit. He's found guilty of killing the girl in LA. He dies, cardiac arrest, before there's an appeal. And if you die before an appeal, then whatever your conviction, everything is erased. So technically, he didn't do it in the court of law.
So he did get away with it.
He did get away with that at the very end. And then, so Kathy...
What do you mean, and then?
Then there's more. Kathy's family, Bob's wife's, our missing wife, it's like, what the fuck? So, like, we got nothing. So then they're like, fuck it, we're going to sue the estate. Sue Bob's estate. Well, get this. He was dating this one chick. He was married. He had a second wife. They weren't even fucking together. It was a strictly like exchange of things. She says Bob they're suing him for $100 million. She's like, Bob only got $100,000 cash. Because she separated everything and said, oh, this all is in a trust. And that's where all the money is. And he only has $100,000 to himself with $250,000 worth of debt. And so this whole time, his side chick, out of all this, wins. His second wife wins this entire thing. One time, Bob called from jail, and her side dude picked up. Hello? Hey, Bob. Oh, you want to talk to Debbie? Honey. Said honey on the phone. So... great time.
My ear
good
just
shit.
Started ringing because I'm so like...
When I tell you, it's actually a good documentary. It's actually very good. I would watch it.
It sounds good. I'm just... If there's any advice I can offer anyone, it does not matter what you did wrong. It doesn't matter who you did wrong, whatever. What matters is if your lawyer is better than the other lawyer. It does not matter. It's just like the argument is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And what they can prove. Because if they can't prove shit, because, you know, we had some old shit from the 90s and he like kind of sort of admitted it, but then probably.
No, being honest, like watching the entire documentary, of course I thought Bob did it. But the entire time, first one, I was like, you can't prove it. His wife missing, you still can't prove it. And then the third, and then his best friend that died in L.A., you still couldn't prove it.
I don't understand how that was just some lazy police work if I ever fucking heard it.
There was no DNA, there's no evidence, nothing like that.
Well, and that's like even when like my car got stolen and there was stuff and then I got it back and I was like, do you all want any of these like bullets they left in my car?
Nope.
Do you all want these like this screwdriver that they used to fucking turn?
We're not gonna find them.
The police, KCPD, they were like, oh yeah, that sucks. Sorry. And I'm like, so it just doesn't matter. Like, they're like, well, you got your car back. What more do you fucking want? And I was like, you didn't even find it. Leavenworth PD, bitch.
Bro. Hey, if you don't know, it's not like CSI. It's not like any of this.
It's really not. Like, I don't know how to explain. Like, we see, and there's a reason there are so many police procedurals on television, and it's propaganda to make you think that they know more than they do. They don't. Get a better lawyer. Figure it out. The police.
Jinx saw it 8 out of 10.
Well, on what platform?
On Max.
On Max.
On Max.
Oh, mine's on Max.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so my documentary is a little crazy, but yours is Chimp Crazy?
It is Chimp Crazy. Yes, I watched this. I'm watching because there's only 3 episodes out right now. It's on HBO. They're doing weekly drops.
Oh, I thought it was done.
No.
Okay, so I can catch up.
They're doing weekly drops. So yeah, you can catch up. You can catch up. Anyone can catch up. There's only 3 episodes out, and I just don't know, like, the way that this man. So it's done by the same people who did Tiger King. And
shout out to Netflix for holding it down during COVID. That was a moment that everybody was watching.
We were all stuck at home for the first time. And it just so happened to come out. But Tiger King, like, I literally have a sign on my desk that my sister got me at work. And it literally just says, hey, all you cool cats and kittens. And it's got a big tiger in the middle. I love Tiger King. There are people who are probably listening to this where Joe Exotic is my name in their phone. I don't know how to.
Ooh.
I don't know how to do one or the other.
I should switch that up. I should switch it up in my phone.
But no, you shouldn't. But this movie is done by the same people, and they're looking into the world of people who are doing these exotic animal buying, selling, all that fun stuff, but specifically with monkeys and apes. And they really get into the chimpanzee of it all. So what I thought was just going to be like a normal Tiger King kind of thing kind of turns into a very like this one woman versus PETA. Her name's Tanya Haddix. Most of this documentary sets place in Missouri.
She looks unhinged. Like
it's so funny because like when you watch the documentary, you will know this woman. It's your mom's drunk friend who's just around too much. She's got lip filler and she's spending her husband's money and she needs something.
The biggest hair on earth.
And the biggest hair on earth, the biggest lips on earth. And then she literally says, I just get a little because I don't want it to look too unnatural while her lips are this big. And you're just kind of sitting there looking at her. She also does this really funny thing where like she tries to use a big word, but she can't, or she uses the wrong word. Like for specifically, it happens a lot, but the one that like really stuck out to me, she's like, "Yeah, we had to inundate the whole house." She meant renovate. Inundate. So like she's using, but like throughout the whole documentary, she's just using the incorrect word that kind of sounds similar, and it's every time it's just like a little chef's kiss.
I have a question. So, because we were born and raised in Missouri, are we dumb? Because every time I watch any documentary about like Missourians, they're the dumbest people on earth.
So me and my mom have this running joke that like, oh, Missouri's in the news, something bad must have happened. Like it's nothing. If you hear about a bitch from Missouri, it's never a good story. It's never a happy story. It's never an uplifting story. It's fucking Sharp Objects or Gone Girl or
Josh Hawley.
That's the real. Well, he's not from Missouri though. He doesn't fucking live here. He's never lived here. Anyway, let's not get too into politics. Fuck you, Josh Hawley. But so it really dives into the world. And apparently in Missouri, there are little to no laws regarding any kind of wild animals, keeping, breeding, buying, selling. So Missouri is a huge hub for the exotic animal trade, and especially under care. Bitch, I'm talking. They went to like this one thing in Missouri, and it was like an auction. It was lions, it was tigers, it was bears, it was weird little salamanders, and these things are going for like a chimpanzee $65,000.
Okay, well, that sounds way too expensive.
Nope,
for
a baby chimpanzee is $65,000.
$65K. That's a lot, bro. Okay.
And so what's interesting about it is like that's kind of where it starts, and then
hold on. Hold on. 60, like we're talking 6'5" with 3 zeros.
Yes.
What the fuck?
$65,000.
$65,000.
White women are gobbling them up like crazy. Not actually gobbling. They're like these white women are taking
for
them,
a pet monkey, $65K, bro.
They're taking them and raising them as their fucking children. I'm not even kidding.
Oh my God.
This woman, she literally goes on camera. She has children, and she goes on camera and says, like, because her and Peter are getting into this fight. She's also like, what's funny about this woman, Tanya, is she.
How old is she? 50s?
50s?
Yeah.
Late 40s, early 50s, that kind of vibe. Maybe older because you can't really tell from the work, but her husband looks a little younger than that, so I'm basing it off that. But yeah, but she started working for this like woman who had an ape compound in Festus, Missouri, and like all this stuff. And it was, they like let people come, but it wasn't like run by, like nobody was a professional in any sense. Nobody was trained to handle apes. They were just people in this like who bought a bunch of apes in the 60s and now sell them at a premium profit.
Bro, 60. I'm still buying more than 65.
That's the thing. And because I'm sitting here thinking like, how are these people making money? Because these people are building enclosures, compounds, all this shit. There's some people in some private fucking compounds. They're private animal collectors, and they literally just have their compounds out in the middle of fucking buttfuck nowhere, Ohio, Iowa, Missouri, and they're just there.
I'm not gonna lie, I have seen the signs though.
So there are some that are open to the public. Like there is the like wild safari park in Missouri, like in Springfield.
Yeah.
I went to that as a kid. It's literally a drive-through zoo. Like you drive through it and they give you like a bucket and you could buy the bucket and put food in it and you could like feed the camels and the water buffalo. And I remember my dad being pissed because he's like, these fuckers are tearing up my F-150. But so
The thing is, I can see your dad doing that, though.
Yeah, no, exactly. So it starts off with that and like kind of gets into that situation, but then it starts following Tanya a little bit harder because Peter gets involved. They have to give up all the monkeys. It's like a fucking thing. She's crying. She's throwing a fit. She goes to court. She's on camera saying, "I love these chimps more than my own kids." Her kids are like there, and they're just like. Thanks.
So Peter should be like for that, right?
No, not at all. And apparently there's this one chip who resides at this facility, and his name is Tonka, and he was like a movie star. He was in all these.
He's on the cover of the the show.
He was in Babe, Pig in the City. He's
the older one.
Yeah, he's older, and that's kind of why we are where we are, because he is older, and so there's all these excuses about what to do with them. Well, he can't be sedated, blah 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 blah, all this stuff. So she ends up sitting there and she's just like, I love these monkeys. You can't take them away from me. You can't take my apes away from me. They're like my children, blah, 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 blah. One of the monkeys was very famous. PETA got involved. Alan Cumming got involved. If you don't, he's the host of The Traders. He played.
Oh, yeah.
He played Floop and Spy Kids.
Wait, why?
He does a lot of.
Why is he?
Because he worked with Tonka when Tonka was a baby. And
in what movie?
It was, I don't even remember what the name of the movie was. It was about like
interesting.
It was like in the late 90s, one of those like Turner class.
This
whatever.
is feeling more random and random.
Exactly. It gets more and more random. And so we're sitting there and we're doing all of this, and then there's like a very courtroom aspect of it because this PETA lawyer, He fucking like you can tell he's trying so hard, but this bitch is like crying in Zoom court and like throwing a fit and calling him every name. She's like, I hope that fucking bastard dies. And they're like, Miss Haddix, the mic is still on. And like all this shit. These characters are crazy. Alan Cumming is involved. He's like offering like money to find this Tonka because they went to go get all the apes and Tonka is missing. And that is where it like kicks off in episode 2 and into episode 3. And that's where we really start to see. But what's really interesting is episode 3. You start to see that this is a pattern. We've all heard about the crazy chimp attacks, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone knows that like if you have a monkey, it's gonna tear somebody's face off at some point.
Yeah.
You just don't know when. These white ladies don't know that. Apparently, somebody never told them. I don't know. Even though like,
or mine's different.
Oh yeah, mine's different. No, I literally see this one guy. His nose is gone, and he's sitting there going, like, they're not really dangerous animals, motherfucker. Your nose is missing. What do you mean?
Scooter accident.
Like I don't know how to handle these people. But like, and this is the part that makes me feel crazy because like, yes, PETA does crazy, awful, ridiculous things to prove a point because nobody seems to get the point unless they do crazy, ridiculous things. Because like you always say, it meets in the middle somewhere. So in order for them to like be like, hey, we shouldn't have monkeys anymore, they're like gonna come after you full force, money and all. They got the money, they got the time. That is the whole point of PETA.
PETA really has the
like,
time.
It really does. And what's crazy in like Missouri, we really don't have any like
interesting. Did not
exotic animal laws. And you could, Jordan, you could go buy a chimpanzee.
Oh, for fucking $65,000, bro. I'm not buying no.
You might have to take out a payday loan to do it, but like.
All right, again.
Because no bank is going to give you money for that.
I do not condone owning exotic animals. But I ain't fucking paying $65K. I would buy a chimp. I would. All right? I'm not going to lie. I would have a little chimp. Not for fucking $65K, though. Not for fucking $65K.
That's what it costs, babe. That's the market rate going these days. So
that's wild.
No, it's
wild.
It's fucking crazy, and it just keeps getting crazier. And then there's a lot of like, what I really like about this documentary director is he does a lot of like gotcha moments. Like in Tiger King, I felt like there were a lot of like, and then somebody was shot in the face, and then somebody's arm got ripped off, and it was just like that. It kind of has that same kind of tempo, and that same kind of like just No, but I really like it. I'm enjoying it. I can't wait to see where it goes.
What'd you give it?
I give it a good 7. I'd watch it again.
Okay.
But no, I like it. It's if you did not like Tiger King, I doubt you will like this. That's my caveat.
I'm gonna watch this. I'm catching up probably tonight. All right, guys. We're close to having a baby. Because this is our second trimester.
Mm-hmm.
And so, again, this is our time where we're just going to tell you what our favorite shows, TV shows, and movies are for this entire year. This time, Joe's only going to do 5.
Yes, I learned the assignment.
Yes. So, Joe, let's start with movies first. What would be your top 5?
The real question is, what the fuck did I write down? Okay, so this is in no particular order, but it was obviously, look, people are saying that it is like a renaissance for horror right now. And I agree because a lot of I was going through like the list of movies I've seen, list of things I've watched, all this stuff. And what really stood out to me was a lot of horror.
Even though the last 3 episodes you've talked about bad horror movies.
I don't know. Not all of them were bad. Arcadian was great.
I was talking about for the past 3 episodes, though.
Oh. I mean, what can I say? I like horror. But these are good horror movies you should definitely watch. And some of them were action sci-fi. So kicking off, like most recently for me, Alien Romulus. Love that movie. Hands down. It was, what I really liked about it was true to form, but then also like brought some of that new stuff from Prometheus and Covenant in that I fully just thought they were going to scrap. And what this proves to me is, hey guys, just because something didn't necessarily work out doesn't mean you can't keep it in a movie and make it work. Figure it out. Maybe do some brainstorming. Don't get a new director and a new set of writers and just be like, well, fuck whatever happened in that movie.
Yeah.
It happens a lot.
Alien Romulus is also my top 5. Again, like you said, it is very true to, it stays true to the Alien formula. It brought back a little bit of the horror. I've never been more scared of those face suckers. What are they
face
called?
huggers. Yeah.
Huggers. Yeah. Never been more scared of them.
It's like more gentle. It's like a hug.
Yes.
It hugs your face.
And yeah, it just brought me back to like, okay, no, the Xenomorph is...
The Xenomorph is that bitch.
Yes.
It is that bitch. It's been that bitch. And Wayland Corporation is still experimenting on it because what do we need more than anything? A weapon.
What's another movie?
Another movie that I really enjoyed this year was Lisa Frankenstein. That was at the beginning of the year with Cole Sprouse, Catherine Newton. It was just a really like campy horror 80s 90s kind of vibe, and it was just a lot of fun. It was just enjoyable. I think back to that movie and just like kind of giggle a little. Speaking of giggling, also on my top list, Abigail. I loved Abigail.
Still a great movie.
I loved Abigail. I think it was like, I really like a horror comedy. I really like that's done well. And I think in that
It's done very well.
They figured out how to mix the horror and the comedy together to like, I don't even like scary parts. Some of them just made me laugh because it was so ridiculous and fun.
Was on my top 5 for the first trimester. Sadly, falling off. Still, I would definitely say top 10 movie though.
The other movie I watched this year that I really enjoyed was Late Night with the Devil. I really enjoyed the concept of it.
I watched it. Really good movie.
Okay, good.
Yes.
I was like, it was just like all of these things that I'm telling you about. What I really liked about them is their storytelling. The plots were thick, but not too thick. It gave you what you needed. It didn't hit you, but it didn't hit you over the head. It was just very demure, very mindful.
Also, I just thought like the set pieces were just beautiful. Like I thought it was just like shot really well.
That's the thing.
Great movie.
It was just done really well.
Yeah.
And it's in that like 70s kind of vibe, and it's done like that late night TV show thing, and it's just it's so fun. And last but not least, what did I write down there? Of course, the one non-horror movie, which could be depending on the amount of blood you see and her fingers, and that is Deadpool and Wolverine. Amazing movie, loved it. House down boots. Could not say anything bad about it, to be honest.
Deadpool Wolverine's also mine. That's a comedy. It's just a comedy movie, and it's just stupid funny. It's one of the funniest movies I have seen in a minute. It's hilarious. It's a good time. It's fun. Ryan Reynolds really just does not take himself seriously, which is exactly how Deadpool is supposed to be like.
That movie was made for us specifically, men about to be 30 or 30, and like the kids who grew up watching Elektra, grew up watching Blade, grew up watching like
the X-Men.
It was Fantastic Four. Like I feel so jealous because these kids just get born into a world of the Marvel universe. We didn't have the Marvel Cinematic Universe when we were kids. It was these
dark times.
It was these random off movies that were like kind of connected, but not really connected, because even Deadpool and Elektra, like those two she was introduced.
Daredevil.
That's what I meant. Daredevil and Elektra. And like she was in that movie, but it hardly connected to her movie, Elektra.
Not at all.
None of it connected other than the fact that she came back to life. But that's just something she can do, apparently.
Yeah. My top 5, again, Deadpool and Alien Romulus. I am more of a kind of basic person of things I kind of like, following kind of like the course of what people also like. But I think one movie that I think doesn't get enough credit is Challengers. Still highly recommend watching that.
I need
movie.
to. It's on fucking MGM Plus, and I'm sorry, I'm not fucking paying for MGM Plus. I already paid for too much. God damn.
Okay, understandable all that.
Sorry.
But no, I still think Challengers is a great movie. It's shot brilliantly. I think the pacing of it is amazing. You really would.
I know I'd like it.
Yeah.
I want to see it. I meant to go see it in theaters, but I feel like it cut out really quick.
No, it was quick. I swear it was like 3 weeks.
Like I was like, okay, I still have time, and then they were like, no, you don't, and it's gonna be on MGM Plus.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, MGM Plus is owned by Amazon.
Yes.
So just if you pay for an Amazon Plus subscription and they don't give you that MGM Plus for free, what the fuck good are you, Jeff Bezos, you piece of shit? I'm really going for it today.
He's in a mood.
Jeff Bezos, Josh Hawley, it's a Tuesday. It's the day after Labor Day. Yeah, I'm pissed.
Civil War. Still think that's an amazing movie. It's great. We kind of differ on the messaging. We've talked about it off camera though a lot.
I don't think differ on the messaging. I think it was pretty clear. But I think what was like
our biggest, we both agree on the messages. Our biggest takeaways are a little bit different.
Yeah.
But I think it's a conversation kind of movie, and I think again it's beautifully shot, well done.
I'm curious.
Great acting.
I can't really remember what was your take and what was my take.
No, it was just like the how I thought like.
It didn't get really political.
Yes,
okay.
that was the big thing.
Which I and arguments to be made. Yeah, no, I do know what you're talking about now. Yeah, no. So I mean, arguments to be made either which way. Not
really arguments, just discussion.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
I think like it's a very blink if you miss it, but if you are a woke leftist like me, it's not hard to miss.
Yeah, no. I mean, I get it, but if you're just trying to. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. No. I see. It's easy to miss.
Yeah.
Like people on The Boys just found out that show was about them.
Wild. Wild. What do we think was going on?
Girl, this is why media literacy keeps getting brought up.
Boys is slapping you in the face with it.
Literally, like quite literally slapping you in the face with it.
But. I would still say my number one movie. Okay, the others are not in any order particularly.
Yeah.
But this is still my clear-cut favorite is Dune 2. Dune 2 is beautiful, amazing action, amazing sets, great acting. I've watched it again. There's just nothing bad I can say really about Dune 2.
No, I don't think.
There's just nothing bad I can say about Dune 2, other than the fact that I have to wait probably 3 more years to see Dune 3.
That's the biggest thing. It's kind of long, but like I'm not mad about it. If it's a good movie, it can be that long.
Yeah, no. So yeah. But now we're gonna go into TV shows. Now my list is it's way different from your list. But the one thing we do, actually we have 2 things in common though, actually. Same with movies. My favorite, so I kind of broke mine up a little bit different, kind of the same way I did in the first trimester. Favorite animated show is by far X-Men 97.
Yes.
It is perfect.
Guys,
it's perfect. It's perfect except for the showrunner.
Again, the showrunner just like
the showrunner's not perfect.
It's one of those things that's like I wish he could like. Can we just go back to saying sorry? Like, no, I'm kidding. Yes. I'm kidding. He should not have done that. That was bad.
Yes.
But that's what's crazy is he was fired before that shit even started.
Yeah, no. X-Men 97, top tier, solid 9, amazing. I'm pissed I have to wait to watch another season. To be honest, that's actually the worst part about that show. It is like, again, what happened to, we're doing animation. I can't wait. Why can't I get 20 episode seasons?
Well, because the man was fired and they're trying to figure out where, like.
I don't care. I don't care. Here's my thing.
Yeah, because Disney doesn't have animators on staff.
Again, this is going to talk about anime, but if One Piece is a weekly show that's been happening for 20 years now. If they could do weekly episodes.
Isn't that based out of Japan?
It doesn't matter.
It does because business practices are different.
I don't care. I need my X-Men 97. I would be cool for 20 weeks out of 52. 20 weeks, that's what I need. Just give me 20 episodes and I'll be happy.
Yeah, I don't know who's like we're all sick of it.
What are we
Everyone's
doing,
tired of it.
Disney? I don't need. Actually, I'm very excited for Moana 2, but I'll be much rather see X-Men 97. um. Anyway, speaking of anime, still my favorite anime is Solo Leveling.
Oh, that
It's
was a
great.
good one. It was a good
I'm
one.
glad you watched it.
I'm
glad you watched it.
I loved it. It was great. Guys, it subs, not dubs, and I still watched it and liked it. And it was great.
Oh, I didn't know you watched it in subs.
Yeah, that was the only way to watch it for a long time.
Oh,
girl, I was
and you still
in
like,
it. I was in it.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
I'm like slowly coming over to the weeb side, but
Yes.
like, no, it's fantastic. My complaint is, where the fuck is the rest of it? If One Piece can do it, why can't?
Facts. I would say my favorite competition show. Okay, and we both have this on our list.
Absolutely.
Love Island Season 6, USA.
Perfect television through and through, except for that little thing at the end. I don't know what the fuck that reunion was, but
Yeah, reunion sucked. But
I mean, I feel like it's because honestly, they should have done it immediately after. And I only say that because they went out to the real world and got some real world consequences real fast.
yeah,
And so I think that the producers at Peacock were too scared to like really go after these kids.
that's the thing. Okay, I'm glad they waited a month. I think they should have waited a month. You want them to get acclimated, see all the consequences happen, but then that's when we ask real questions. That's because the difference is in like other shows like Love Is Blind and like Bachelor and stuff like that. Those guys, those girls they're usually sometimes a whole year removed before they have a reunion and stuff like that. But they get their time and then they come back, and then which is exactly what they did, but instead of like, hey, let's actually talk about it stuff, we're going to puffball pieces or focusing on something that nobody really cares about anymore.
And I think it is something interesting in television and reality television specifically because, you know, the concept of mental health and all this stuff and all these things. But like, but there's this other camp that says like, well, you signed up for the show.
Correct.
So, and they do psychological evaluations and they do warn you about this stuff.
Yeah.
So liability.
It's a fine line.
It's too fine. And that's the problem that they're having. And why I think we got a bad reunion. But the rest of the show was beautiful.
Great. Perfect. Loved it.
But that's the thing is like the competitions. What was good about it is they were messy and they were dramatic. And you would have to ask questions, and they would force them to do things that is like they would normally wouldn't do.
You know what? We asked messy questions in the villa, and then out of the villa, we asked no messy questions.
No, yeah, that's
not understand that.
That's kind of like it doesn't make sense. And
No.
I don't know. Explain it to me.
Yeah. So for my top two shows, I would say these are 1 and 2. There's definitely one. I would say an honorable mention of just these are just shows in general. Honorable mention is Fallout. Fallout's fantastic, wonderful. It's fresh. It's new. Love Fallout. Really enjoyed Fallout. Cannot wait for season 2. I would say one of my favorite shows I've watched is Presumed Innocent with Jake Gyllenhaal. Highly recommend watching.
Okay.
Highly recommend watching it. The whole entire time I was in my seat, a twist at the end that you kind of thought maybe,
But you're like, no, they wouldn't do that.
No, exactly. Great show. Was in it the whole time. Again, that's that. I like a good crime show. I like a good crime.
See, you like a long story crime. I like a procedural crime. I like a flavor of the week kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like it done within at least 2 episodes. If it takes the whole season, then sure, as the backstory.
Yeah.
And then the last 2. But like, I like a boop.
Yeah, I understand. But I would say this is still the best show that's came out this year is Shogun. It's Shogun. It got named. I got multiple Emmys. Emmys are coming up.
I still really need to watch it.
It's fantastic.
I haven't watched it yet, and it's been on my list.
It's fantastic.
It's just hard to like when I'm like after work. I'm tired.
You want a serious drama.
I want a serious drama where it's like half subtitles and like all this stuff. No, bitch. I want to get high. Yeah. I want to get high and watch X-Men 97.
What's your top 5? We only shared 97 and we shared Love Island.
All right. So first things first, we were talking about crime, Criminal Minds Evolution. I love this show.
If it wasn't on Paramount, I would watch it.
I mean,
like straight up, I really would.
No, I know it. If like guys, I will say, I don't know if it's worth a Paramount Plus subscription. It's probably not.
Actually, right now, you know, sponsor. It's $2.99 for the next 6 months.
Oh yeah. I mean, I love
a whole year actually.
It brings the old, it brings the new, it brings the fucking AI and ChatGPT and dark web into the world of serial killers, and it's fucking dark, and it makes you think about things that you really didn't probably want to think about, but horrifies you a little bit. But that's what makes it good, and it makes it interesting. Like, it really does take Criminal Minds and evolves it. That's why it's called Criminal Minds Evolution. Second up, this show is getting a lot of praise on TikTok right now because it finally dropped its first season on Netflix, which is Interview with the Vampire. Retelling of the Anne Rice novel, which also is a retelling of the movie with Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise, and it's just gay vampires being menaces, the messiest ass bitches you'd ever seen in your life. They are immortal and angry and horny. And that's all you really need to know.
I'm just trying to imagine you as a vampire, and I feel like you would be the exact same.
If I was a vampire, I would just speak like this, but with fangs. There'd be a lot of sucking involved. Anyway. Second up, guys, Baby Reindeer. Finding out that show was not only based on a true story, but also the guy who it was based on played the main character. And
then the drama that ensues after.
And then the drama that ensues after, because he literally said, I did not want people to find her. And she was like, oh, really? Well, here I am, but I'm not. But I am, you crazy fucking bitch. And I also want to fuck you, but I don't. And all on Piers Morgan. Like, what?
It's so crazy, like... Again, you watch that interview and you're like, yeah, this is definitely you.
Yeah, like it's like
you definitely did all this.
And what's crazy,
you proved everybody's point.
She's over here being like, well, no, they wouldn't even want it. And then he asked about my curtains, and he said, well, I'd hang your curtains. And I was like, you just named a scene from the show. Like, I don't know what you're talking. It's great. This woman is insane.
Insane.
But what I really like about that show is that it felt realistic in how you fall into a stalker. Like, I've been in situations before where like I've had online people kind of get creepy on me, and like it's not hard to fall into their little trap because you don't want to be mean. You're trying to be nice. And
moral of the story is be an asshole.
Yeah, it's the best way to live. You are what you eat. And then
you had an honorable mention.
That was my 3. Oh, but I did have my honorable mention, which is Batman Caped Crusader. I loved it.
Great show.
I loved it. I loved it. I can't explain enough. It was dark. It was pretty mature for what it was. There are grown men fully getting tortured in this show. And
if you like the original animated series, The Batman, you're going to love this.
Unless you are really anti-woke.
Okay. Actually, I wouldn't say anti-woke. I
said woke.
Yeah. If you love Batman animated series, you're going to like this. But if you're obsessed with Batman animated series, then you're not going to like this because you're going to expect it to be that, and it's not that. It's not.
And here's you're talking about purists.
Yeah.
And guys, I don't know how to tell you this, but like,
chill out.
There's nothing pure about anything that you like. It's all fandoms. It's all fake. It's all made up. And there's nothing pure about it. It's not a religion. It's not even...
It is.
It's not even kind of holy.
It's a cult now.
It is a story, and you can either like the story or you could not like the story.
But don't go online and saying, oh my God, this is the word blah, 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 blah.
Because that's how shows like The Acolyte get canceled, and the Dead Boy Detectives...
deserves to get canceled. I didn't see Dead Boys. Acolyte deserves...
Disagree. I just disagree wholeheartedly. I'm sorry you hate hot people with lightsabers.
So why don't you guys tell us, what was your favorite shows? Favorite movies this year? Do you think The Acolyte deserves a second season?
Look, obviously it didn't make my top 5, so like
there we go.
That says a lot. But guys, I'm just so tired of the stupid shoot 'em up boy bullshit. That's all you all want. Andor, fucking Han,
yeah.
the Solo movie.
I don't need Han Solo.
Rogue One.
Rogue One is the best. In my opinion, I will argue that Rogue One is a top 3, and it's actually one of might be my favorite Star Wars movie.
Yeah, a lot of you dumb people have that opinion.
Okay. Anyway, tell us what you guys think.
No, I mean,
we could have a whole Star Wars argument.
I mean, I do want to have that at some point because it did get broken. I did see it get broken down a little, and it got interesting, and we'll talk about it.
You've seen Rogue One, right?
Yeah, I've seen like everything.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, we'll have another discussion
that's
later.
The thing. He hates me because I've seen everything, and still,
still hates it when it's.
I didn't say I hated it. It's just not my favorite.
Okay. Anyway, my name is Jordan,
and I'm Joe,
and this is Double Trouble Features.